Avengers Age of Ultron starts off with a bang! The Avengers are infiltrating the Hydra's hideout, trying to get back Loki's scepter. If you have seen Captain America Winter Soldier, you would have noticed that Hydra actually infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and stole Loki's scepter, so they're in possession of it. Very unfortunate for people that don't watch all of the Marvel movies, because you would have missed that and you'd be scratching your head thinking, Avengers Part 1, the Black Widow had the scepter last, what happened to it? But the story actually kind of really sort of flows through with all of the Marvel movies. That's how they've chosen to do it. Don't know if I agree with it, because if you don't want to watch all the Marvel movies, now you're going to be scratching your head thinking, how did certain things happen? And as they're infiltrating Hydra's hideout, the lovely snowy mountains, we are also introduced to the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, two awesome Marvel characters, and Scarlet Witch is actually one of my favourite characters, even though she's down-powered in this, because in the comic books she's super powerful. She could like create alternate dimensions and just make you non-existent within the blink of an eye. She was really, really overpowered in the comics, and obviously they couldn't make her that overpowered in the movies, understandably so, but still awesome to see Scarlet Witch. And of course the Avengers get the scepter back, and then Tony Stark actually finds an artificial intelligence inside the scepter, aka Ultron. And he wants to use this to the Avengers and to his advantage. Unfortunately, during a party at Stark's mansion, Ultron, the artificial intelligence, gets out of control. He creates a robotic body out of nowhere really, really quickly in Stark's workshop, and then has a word to the Avengers and tells them what his actual intentions are. So now they know that they've bitten off more than they can chew. And Ultron has the ability to pass his consciousness through the internet. What he does is infiltrates a workshop and starts creating robots, and he can upload his consciousness to all of these different robots, and obviously creates an ultra powerful, or a more powerful robot body for himself. But in the meantime, it's not super powerful. He's actually got plans to develop a super overpowered body, which he begins doing straight away, so he can upload his consciousness into that, and that'll be the primary source of Ultron AI. And we get to a point where he's about to upload his consciousness into this super powerful body, and thankfully the Avengers stop him, and they actually intercept the body and gain control of it. And what happens then is we are introduced to Vision, another new character that joins the Avengers. So Tony Stark uploads his artificial intelligence known as Jarvis, who pretty much powers up his old mansion and is pretty much Tony Stark's little servant inside his building, his mansion, whatever you want to call it. He uploads Jarvis's consciousness into what was soon to be Ultron's super body, together with the Mind Stone, and voila, Vision has been created. Now, in the midst of all this, we have a love interest thing going on with Bruce Banner and the Black Widow. Now, this really wasn't necessary. It's the only female Avenger, other than the Scarlet Witch, who isn't an Avenger, she's just a character in the movie, but it's the only female Avenger, and does she have to fall in love with somebody? I just think it really wasn't necessary. It didn't bother me too much, but I think we could have done without that, definitely. I would have preferred not to have all this love bullshit, to be honest with you. And one of my favourite parts in this movie is when Iron Man gets into his Hulkbuster suit, aka Veronica, and this is because the Scarlet Witch uses her power to mess with the Hulk, and he just goes on a rampage in the city, and obviously only Iron Man can stop him with the help of Veronica, aka the Hulkbuster suit. Amazing scene, probably my favourite part of the movie easily. But having said that, the very battle at the end with the Avengers taking on Ultron and his little robotic army was incredible too. And this time around, it's like they read my mind, because in the first Avengers, they're having this all-out war in the city, and there was no civilians, there were no casualties, there was no people. The cities are always jam-packed full of people. It's population everywhere. What I like about this, it's like they read my mind, and we see civilians. We see populated cities and what happens if there's war and destruction in cities. So I really love that they actually added that into this movie. And that is all that I can pretty much say about this. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Probably on par with the first one, if not maybe a touch better. I don't know. are both really good, and I cannot wait to watch Infinity War. Obviously, I'm reviewing the first two movies before I watch the third one, which I'll be doing tomorrow or in the next couple of days, so make sure that you stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and watch that video. And I'm going to quickly talk about some spoilers very, very quickly at the end of this, but before I do that, I'll give this a final score. As most of you that are familiar with your Creepy Uncle Bunny 13 know, I score all my movies out of 13. The Avengers Age of Ultron gets a well-deserved 11 out of 13 and is definitely a must-watch for all comic book and Marvel movie fans alike. Wasn't a huge fan of the whole love interest thing, and once again, I'm more of an R-rated kind of dude. I enjoy movies like Deadpool, Logan. You'll definitely score points with me with movies like that. These movies aren't really bloody enough, and they're a little bit too cartoonish for my liking. A lot of CGI going on, which, you know, I know that it's really necessary for films like this. It's just a personal preference of mine. I like darker movies and definitely R-rated type films. Having said that, Robert Downey Jr. is a huge standout in this. He is fantastic. That man is made to be Iron Man and Tony Stark. He's just so good and definitely deserves every dollar that he makes. Huge standout. Now, let's talk about some spoilers. A lot of you have seen this already, so you probably know what happens. If you don't and you still want to watch it, I've convinced you to watch it, then just tune out now, close the window. You know what I've scored it. It's a must-watch movie, 11 out of 13, great score. Go and see it, go watch part 1, go watch this one, go watch all the Marvel movies, and then go watch Infinity War, because from what I'm hearing, Infinity War is fantastic. I can't wait to watch that. The Avengers prevail at the end. They take out Ultron, they kill all of the robots and the consciousness within the robots, that is Ultron, and what I was expecting was some casualties in this. There wasn't many casualties. Most of the Avengers survived. All of the Avengers survived, in fact. The only person that dies is Quicksilver, which was kind of disappointing. He was a new character. Fair enough, he's not as strong as the other Avengers in terms of we're all familiar with them. We've all sort of grown a bond with the character. But I would have liked to see more of Quicksilver and maybe kill off Hawkeye or, I don't know, something. Probably don't kill off Tony Stark or the Hulk just yet, but I would have liked to see a bit more of Quicksilver, is what I'm trying to say. But having said that, I like to be surprised. So the unexpected is always a good thing, like in Game of Thrones. No one is safe, anyone can die, any awesome new character can just be, beheaded at any time. And I guess that's what this brought along as well. Even though Quicksilver wasn't the main character in the Avengers series, we are introduced to him, he's new, he's pretty cool. I actually liked him a lot better than I thought I would, but gets killed in the process of saving Hawkeye. So it's going to be interesting what Scarlet Witch does in Infinity War, if she's still there, or if she takes off and doesn't appear in the movie. I don't know, we'll see. I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers, please. But other than Quicksilver's death, everything is pretty straightforward. There's nothing really else that I need to talk about spoiler-wise. I've already mentioned all of my favourite bits in the movie. I've let you know what I think of it. I've given it a score. Just make sure you tune back in when I review Infinity War. I'm also going to review Deadpool 1 and 2. I'm going to go watch Infinity War and Deadpool 2 over the course of the next couple of days. So those reviews are coming up movie-wise. And don't forget, for all of your Diablo 3 needs, guides, help with builds, set dungeons, check out all of my videos down there. I've sorted out most of my videos with classes, so just click on the class you want to see. All your videos will come up and you'll be slaying monsters in no time. If you refuse to subscribe to this creepy person's channel, that's fine. Just come back and visit. Please.